We're going to work today with the Outback Oven. Last night we made a pizza and we had great success. So today I want to try and make some bread. This is experiment with the Outback Oven number 2. So the first thing, I've got a little warm water here, and I'm just going to sprinkle in some rapid rise or instant yeast or whatever it is, and might give it, well, I might give it a little stir. And we want that to sort of just get foamy. So I'll just let that sit for a minute. And meanwhile, what I have here is a bag of prepared dough mix. And it's like about a half a cup of whole wheat flour, about a half a cup of regular all-purpose flour, and maybe a half a teaspoon of salt, something like that. That's all that's in there. And I'm just going to empty it into my non-stick frying pan, which I thought would be a great place to do some kneading. So when this is foamy, we're going to pour that in here. So the yeast, you can just come in on the yeast there, and the water that had a little bit of sugar in it, that has foamed up. So I'm going to add that into the flour. I'm also going to add some oil to this. Okay, so I'm actually using this great non-stick camping fry pan to mix the dough and to knead it in. And the frying pan's great because it's low. Yesterday I used a little pot and that was harder to do, but this is great. So you can see that this is getting really springy. Little bowl, I'm going to just pour a little dab of oil in it and just kind of smoosh that around. And put my dough in it, kind of make sure it's nicely coated with the oil, and that'll help it not dry out. And then I'm going to bring it over here to our camp stove where it's a little bit warm, and just cover it up with a nice clean dish towel. So now we have the dough that's risen up, and I'm going to just give it a little, release the air, and I'm going to take it out and give it a bit of a knead. So what the object now is to turn this into some bread. So what I propose to do is to make little buns. And I don't think that's going to make very many. So I'm going to cut it in half. And I'm going to cut it in half again. And I'm going to roll these into little balls. And I'm going to put them to rise again, maybe with just a touch more olive oil. I'm going to put them in the base of the Outback Oven. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to put the lid on this, but while I'm at it, I'm going to, this is your Outback Oven thermometer, so that goes there. And I'm just going to screw that in. This is very exciting. So that will act as a nice cover, and then I want to keep it warm so it'll raise up a little longer, and maybe we'll let it go for 10 minutes or so. You can see that our little buns, our little rolls have risen up very nicely, so we can start baking them now in the Outback Oven. So Dave is getting the oven started here. And it's an old Coleman stove. Now, the Outback Oven was not really made for these kinds of stoves. It was made for those little backpacking, hiking, canoeing stove, but we're going to use this. It worked really well last night. So I've got the heat diffuser and the scorch buster riser bar, and I'm going to put that over the flame and just sort of center it. And this is set on low, and we've got the oven body, and that's going to go on top of that with the thermos sort of facing us. That little thermostat is going to tell us what's going on in the oven. So, and I'm going to put this is the cozy or the hot parka, and I'm going to put it right down, and then you can look in and actually read the thermometer. So I'm not sure how long these are going to take to bake, but we aren't even going to start thinking about it until that thermostat moves into the bake zone. So we'll come back and see if it gets there soon. I don't know if you can see that, but we're in the bake zone. So I'm going to leave it there for about 10 minutes, and then we'll check and see how our rolls are doing. So we're just going to have a little look, see how it's doing. I don't know if it's done yet or not. Dave's just taking the lid off. And, well, no, it's not done yet. But it smells really good. It's been smelling pretty good, and it's probably been 15 minutes or so. I'm saying, oh yeah, they're done. I think they're done.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna break one open now and see how they turned out. And they look perfect. So now I'm gonna give some to Dave.
Thank you.
I'm gonna tear off a little piece and see.
They're great.
They're fine.
They work.
They work.